9. In February last year, the TV presenter Mikita Oliver filed for bankruptcy over unpaid tax bills. Now she's been finding out about the lengths that some young people are going to cope with their financial worries.
Well, Mikita's made a documentary for BBC Three exploring why just so many young adults are taking out payday loans. And during the filming, she went undercover to investigate the industry.
Before we speak to her, let's take a look at the programme. And in this clip, one young man describes how he began his descent into debt.
Would you say that quite a high majority of people here under 25 probably had a payday loan?
Yeah, I'd say about 85%.
85%?
Yeah, definitely. Easy. Even my mum's had one. It's just normal. The way things are these days, it's just the easiest way out. This part of England is classed with poverty. The worst for benefits. Everyone's basically messed up around here. It is a bad place.
But Rochdale's no different to other parts of the country, where youth unemployment has rocketed and young people are struggling with money or to find work. So the quick fix of a payday loan can be easy to get and hard to resist. Josh didn't think about the downsides, but after years of borrowing, he's up to his neck in debt.
Now I owe 6-7 grand. Probably 20% that I borrowed and the 80% interest.
Mikita's here now, along with Josh Pewey, who was featured in that clip.
Morning, both.
It is terrifying, really, when you think just how much trouble young people can get themselves into, and yet so many of them want to do it.
Yeah, during filming we started to think of them as sort of like the forgotten people, because there's these huge groups of young people that are living in the most extreme amounts of debt, and they're sort of just being brushed under the carpet and just, you know, conveniently forgotten about. And I think that's why we thought it was such an important thing to shed some light on.
Josh, you were described there as being up to your neck in debt. You've been trying, haven't you, to sort of get your way back from this. So what have you done, and what are you able to do?
I've recently, well, about a few weeks ago, got a job.
Right.
Now, that entitled me to join a debt management plan, which basically freezes the interest and lets me pay off an affordable amount every single month. But before that, I was in my neck.
So how much did you borrow?
Altogether about £1,000.
You borrowed £1,000 altogether?
And with the interest and everything, it come up to like 5,000, 6,000 that I ended up owing back to the loan company.
How did they let you borrow, a man in your position,
And you were 19 when you first
£1,000?
started? 18.
How did they let you borrow that much money?
It's a computer system. It's not face-to-face value. Do you know what I mean? If you put in the right things on the application, then you're guaranteed to get accepted. This credit rating and stuff like that, it's a lot of nonsense.
Mikita, you went undercover, didn't you? And set up a sort of agency, did you?
We set up a sort of fake payday loan company. Yeah. And to be fair, I was saying to my producer, I was like, no one's going to come in. And we were, like, rammed. There was, like, so many people throughout the first day. It was actually quite upsetting just to see how desperate people were, because all we basically were advertising was money now and not much else. And that was enough to make us busy for the entire day. I did feel slightly guilty when I then had to come out and go, actually, we're filming for the BBC. But it was very much about, you know, giving them advice, because payday loan companies aren't going anywhere.
I mean, and you met some extraordinary cases. I mean, the young mother, for instance, who we can see now, who took out a loan to pay for a Christmas present. So let's have a look. I think it's...
What were you feeling like?
I was really depressed. I couldn't leave the house. I couldn't face anybody. Me and the kids were in the house every day, and I felt like ending it. I was so bad, and it was because of all the debt. And there was the lowest moment of my life. I was just terrified. I was scared. I was on my own. I'm gonna start crying.
So tough reasons why they borrow, and then they get into a really, really difficult situation as well, Mikita.
Absolutely, and what's really difficult is that, and obviously the reason I was pitched through the programme is because I know about debt, and debt is an extremely solitary place to be. And if you're a young mother with kids, and they make you feel even more alone, there's a lot of fear mongering. They call you off and they let you know that you're in a lot of trouble. And you know, Sarai was crying because she was very freaked out for a very long time. So I think that it's the way they treat the people they're meant to be helping. That's what we really wanted to shed light on.
Josh, you knew what the terms were when you took on the loan, though, didn't you?
Yeah,
and you knew you probably wouldn't be able to pay it back in your situation, so why did you do it?
18-year-old, no money, no job, skint. The easiest thing to do was to get the payday loan. People my age were doing it. didn't seem like a problem at the time, and then before you know it, it spirals out of control.
What about your friends? Have they done the similar thing?
Yeah, a couple of my friends have done similar things, yeah.
And Mikita, you said you know about debt because you filed for bankruptcy last year, so how did that happen to you?
That was basically, I started earning a lot of money at a very young age and didn't really know how to deal with it. I didn't have particularly great advice. The difficult thing about bankruptcy was I thought I could do it quite quietly. I thought I could silently go bankrupt, and obviously that's not what happens. So when it came out, we were inundated with, myself and my agent, with people wanting to do stories, documentaries, and this one felt like the right thing because it's not necessarily my story.
And it was a tax bill, wasn't
it? It was a tax bill, yes.
You'd gone into denial, hadn't you? And what, you were burning the pieces of paper?
Absolutely, burning all evidence that I was in any debt. And it was interesting because a lot of the patterns that I saw in myself, again, I felt very alone at the time, I saw with lots of the people that we spoke to, with Josh and Sarai and stuff. And I think that's the one thing we wanted to show with the documentary, that debt can actually unite us all rather than make us feel extremely freaked out.
And you presumably will have to pay it back.
Who?
You have to pay the money back.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Well, Josh, there will be people watching now who are in sort of situation, getting the situation that you found yourself, or that you got into rather. What's your advice for them?
If you've got a job, you've got a good, decent income, by all means, if you're being responsible, use payday loans. If you haven't got a job, then don't go near them.
But work out how much it's going to cost
research
you.
the company, work out what the interest and everything is, work out the background, then maybe go and lend. Don't just jump into
How long do you think it's going to take you, Josh, to pay it back?
Well, we've worked it out on average with the dot consolidation programme. It'll take me about, it was 11 years. Now, because I've got this job and paying off a bit more, it'll take me about 7 years. But I've still got to live with that for another 6 years.
I mean, that's what we were saying as well, that the payday loan companies aren't going anywhere, so it's just about making sure that people are educated about what going into an agreement with them actually means.
All right, Mikita.
Good luck.
Josh, thanks very much.
Thank you.
A Young British and Broke starts tomorrow night on BBC 3 at 9 o'clock.
Time for weather.